I met people from Africa, from the United States, Asia. My friends are from everywhere.
Dance isn't a gateway to Europe, but it's a gateway to
The world.
Everywhere, yeah.
Moving to a new country to study is exciting, but also a little daunting. In the Good to Be Here podcast, we'll talk about what it's like to study at NHL Stenden as an international student. In this episode, we'll talk about how international NHL Stenden actually is and opportunities that we have to travel even further afield as part of our studies. I'm Sophia. I'm from the US and I'm a second-year international business student. And today I'm joined here with fellow NHL Stenden students, Laura.
Hi, my name is Laura. I am from Poland, but my parents are Vietnamese and currently a second-year creative business student.
Hello everyone, my name is Robert. I'm 21 years old, third-year international business student, and I come from Romania.
And I'm Sara. I'm Italian. I'm a fourth-year student of international teacher education for secondary schools. And yeah.
Excellent. All right. So being away from home and in a new environment can be quite challenging. We've all had some kind of culture shock moment in our lives, but what about culture shocks in the Netherlands? What is a cultural difference that you've had in this past week?
Well, I find it interesting to see that there are scooters on the bike lane.
Right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah, we don't have that in Italy.
Crazy to me. Well, because you have, the scooters and like the Czech and the Go scooters, I believe they're called. But then you have those big, they're the fun bikes, I think is what they're called.
Fat bikes.
The fat bikes? Okay, sorry.
These are the new
bikes,
ones.
Yeah, they're also, I think, electric. And you have the electric bikes and you just have like a regular bike. So I feel like some of them belong on the road with the cars. Like, it's crazy. The line's a little bit blurry.
Yeah, they can go fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're quite dangerous sometimes.
Yes. And even just the traffic, learning how to walk as a pedestrian, looking both ways with the bike. I swear, I've almost been run over. It's not okay.
Yeah, me too. So many times. So
That's prerequisites when you get into the Netherlands. Like, learn the rules when you bike and learn how to bike.
Yeah, exactly. Or even learning how to bike and with the hand signals, turning left and right.
Yeah, that's another thing for me because where I'm from is Vietnam. It's quite chaotic when it comes to traffic. Let's not get down that road. But the signaling with the bikes. When I came here with my mom was like, oh, they're signaling to turn left and right. And at first I thought it was like they're just asking for the road. But later on I learned that that's actually required to do. Like it's kind of, you have to do that rather than it's optional. It's not optional.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
How is it back in Vietnam? Do they not signal? Do they just go for it and hope for the best?
Yeah. Well, let's say we do have red lights, but
no one really.
We don't really.
Yeah.
Robert, I'm sure you can relate in Bali as well.
Yeah, that was my biggest culture shock when I went to Bali, because in the Netherlands, especially in Europe, like the Netherlands, the traffic rules are so strict here that even if you, for example, you're in a car and you go 60 and the limit is 50, you will get a fine like a week later in your mail. But in Bali, like, there are not so many rules. I mean, there are, but they're not respected. So there were so many cars and scooters, and like 3 people on a scooter, and three people with a dog on a scooter, with their groceries, with their kids, like
fridge, the whole
with
house.
no helmets.
Yeah.
Kids, 7-year-old kids, like it's
whole
chaotic.
I think it's so cute though here, especially too, like the little kids will bike themselves to school. I find that so funny as well, because they'll be like 7 and they're just on their own biking to school.
And the bikes at their bike are like even bigger than the bike that I have on my own.
Yeah, right.
Like little kids,
like,
big bike.
Go you. So nice. Yeah. So now we'll get into some statements. Studying in a different country can feel like a big step, but what if it's just one of the many steps you can take? What opportunities does NHL Stenden offer so that students can explore even further afield? Whether being in the Netherlands is enough of an experience or you want to travel the world, is there really something for everyone here? We'll answer all of your questions by discussing statements. The first statement we're going to discuss is... my signature
Drum roll.
lean into the cards. All right. Going abroad during your studies is such a hassle, and it's way beyond my student budget. Maybe Robert, you can take this.
I found out when I was in Bali and Thailand that actually living expenses are quite the same as in the Netherlands. I would spend as much money as I spend here on rent and living costs and insurance, etc., as I would spend in Southeast Asia. But the income is the part that you have to think about, because if you're there, you can't really get a lot of income. So you have to
Right.
save up.
Yeah, a lot of my friends are saving up for when we go to our minor abroad and everything.
But the living expenses on a monthly basis are quite the same.
Interesting.
So if you think like, I can't afford to go to Bali, I can't afford to go to Thailand, like this is the time that you can take to actually study and travel at the same time. So I think if you really dream about going to those places, you should definitely go.
Yeah, I think money can always come back, but experiences can't. So
Yep.
you should just go for it. And then even for us as well, because, you know, getting across the Atlantic might take a lot of money. But then once you get here, it's relatively cheap, you know, even from the Netherlands, like there's 30 euro flights to Italy, to England. Like it's doable. You just have to kind of budget maybe a little bit,
Yeah,
you know, not
saving.
eat gourmet meals when you're traveling,
Yeah.
stay in some hostels or some cheap hotels with your friends, and I still think it's worth the experience. I don't know how Laura or Sarah
Yeah.
feel.
Absolutely. It's definitely worth the experience. I completely agree with you, Sophia, that well, money can always come back to you, but the experience doesn't really.
Yeah.
For me, as a person who also comes from all over the sea back in Asia, coming here, it's actually a little bit more expensive compared to what we have back in Vietnam. So that's why I was a bit like, really? When you said that the expenses you spend here are kind of the same with the expenses you spent over there. But then you explained with the income, and now that it
Yeah.
makes sense.
I was referring to the fact that if you sum up all the money that I spent in my grand tour and the money that was spent here for the same 6 months, it quite adds to the same,
Yeah.
because the living expenses there are cheap, but the flights are expensive. So just getting there is the most expensive part.
Yeah. Same for
Yeah,
me.
and NHL Stenden offers, well, not just NHL Stenden, but also the Erasmus. You know, they offer you study
scholarships.
loans. Yeah, scholarships. Sorry, and if you're Dutch, you have the Oranje Beurs, I believe it's called, and if you're extra European, there are other options. So I feel like if you don't have your own savings, you can still get half of it from a scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there are a lot of grants you can access.
So our next statement is you can go abroad at any time and anywhere during your degree. What do you guys think?
I think I would completely agree. We have something called Run EU that NHS Stenden is one of
Yeah.
the partners. I think there's 7. I'm not so sure. But basically, they provide these SAPs, which is short for short advanced programs, where you get the opportunity to go abroad to the partner's university for like 1 week to a month.
With Erasmus money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
you
believe
get
you can
Erasmus.
earn credits too.
You can, like 1 to 3, I think. It depends on the program itself. And they have different editions as well. It's really nice.
I've never done that, but I know that my friends have done that. And so you just basically get to skip a week of school and just
Yeah.
go and travel to a different country. I think there's one in Ireland,
Portugal.
Hungary, Portugal,
Yeah.
Austria
Austria.
is one of them. Finland,
Yeah.
I think, as well.
I
Really
forget the
interesting
others.
opportunities.
Yeah, and then also
For free.
too. Yeah, and when you're minor, when you do exchange or grand tour, I know Robert, you've already been on grand tour.
Yes, there's plenty of opportunities to go on grand tour. I went personally in Bali for 3 months. I did entrepreneurship in action, and I went to Thailand where I did digital marketing.
Yeah,
It was one of the best choices I've ever made.
yeah,
to
exactly.
travel.
And then even within that, I'm sure you have a lot of, maybe not a lot, but some free time to travel
Yes.
Thailand and travel Bali, which is
Definitely.
really nice.
You get to know the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely get a lot of free time to go explore, travel with the other students, because there's a community of students there that go together
Right.
and you make friends, new connections. You go and see places, meet new people, try new foods.
Yeah, that's so nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend that. But I also have colleagues who chose to go on an exchange
Okay.
at a prestigious university here in Europe, in France. I have a very good friend who went there. So he studied in a private university
Oh, that's so nice.
with French students. So
Yeah.
that's an experience by itself.
Yeah, I mean, even within the Netherlands, obviously it's a very centralized location in Europe, so it's really easy to travel around the Netherlands as well, and flights are so cheap from here as well, so that's really great.
Yeah.
All right, our next statement is, I'm the only international student in my class.
Not for me. Not applicable.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Not relatable.
No, with a period. I think in international business, we have around, like, right now it's 50-50, I would say, 50% Dutch people, 50% internationals. Maybe it feels a little bit more international than Dutch. I can't speak for your other courses, but definitely to this statement, my answer is no.
What about you?
For
no,
creative.
me,
Oh no, go ahead.
so yeah, for ITES, it's mainly Germans and Dutch, but there's me and another Italian girl, and then we have a Vietnamese guy, and other nationalities. For example, one is from South America. I don't remember what country specifically anymore. So yeah, it's very international.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. And Laura, you had something to add?
Yeah, so for creative business, we have 2 streams. We have the national stream with Dutch students, and we have the international stream. So international stream is basically literally for the internationals who come to the Netherlands. But sometimes the Dutchies also decide that they will like enroll themselves in the international stream just for the experience.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very international for me.
Yeah, that was a really easy statement.
Not relatable at all.
Nope. All right. Oh, I think we've also sort of covered this as well, but the statement is the Netherlands is a gateway to Europe.
Yes.
Yes? Do you
Yes.
wanna elaborate on that?
Well, like I said, it's so well connected with everything, and especially like NHL Stenden gives us the opportunity to work abroad, to do our internships and semesters abroad. So not just the Netherlands, but the university itself gives us lots of opportunities in Europe
that's
and
true.
outside Europe as well.
Yeah. Robert, you were nodding your head, yes.
Definitely. Like when I came here, I met people from Africa, from the United States, from Asia. I met people from
Check your continents.
Was waiting for that.
check the continents, all the continents. So my friends are from everywhere.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's well connected and people know about
Yeah, so you can even go beyond. The Netherlands isn't a gateway to Europe, but it's a gateway to
The
the
world.
world.
Everywhere, yeah.
So
Missing Antarctica.
globalized of you. All right. And our next statement is, studying at NHL Stenden here in the Netherlands is enough of an international experience for me.
How do you know if it's enough or not?
I know. I think it depends on the person, but
Yeah,
I don't want to
depends on the
sway you
personality.
guys. What do you think?
Well, I know Romanian friends who just like to hang out with other Romanians and they just stick to that group because that's where they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But in my case, I met people from Zimbabwe that are my friends, and I might want one day to travel there. I want to go see other countries. I want to go see Vietnam, for example.
Yeah.
So I want to see Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities to go.
I think it depends kind of on the person, because I have a classmate who she's from Bulgaria, and so she'll do her minor here, and I believe she wants to do her internship here. And so, I mean, obviously I can't speak for her, but to me it sounds like, she found a really great home in the Netherlands, and so she doesn't really see the need to explore, more outside, especially even then while studying. But I think for me, yeah, any chance I get, I mean, obviously I love the Netherlands and I love studying here, but just the opportunity to travel abroad and to study abroad and, take in new cultures is always really exciting. But you get a little bit of taste of that when you're here anyways. So
Yeah, for me, for me personally, it feels kind of enough because I've had so many opportunities to go abroad. So I didn't stay within the Netherlands so 4 years, but I've been to Spain, Belgium. I've traveled in my free time as well.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Like I said before, thanks to my, to the holidays and everything.
Yeah.
But for a Dutch person, it's also nice to have these opportunities, because for them, coming to this university would mean staying within their country. But then thanks to all these opportunities of exchange and internships, then they also get the international experience.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. And so that was our last statement, actually. Do you have any tips for interested students?
Learn how to ride the bike. That's the best tip I can give. If you don't know how to ride a bike, get a bike home, practice, and you'll be fine. Because you will walk a lot here in Leeuwarden if you don't have a bike. So that's really handy.
Yeah, I had a bike when I was a kid, we'd go around the neighborhood and everything, but then I think I hadn't ridden a bike in over 5 years before I came here, and so learning how to bike I can do all of this now. I am very skilled I feel confident in my biking skills, but beforehand, learning how to do the signals with the one hand was a little bit scary for me, and then learning, because in the US, it's just the pedestrians and the cars kind of have to stop for the pedestrians, otherwise that's going to be a whole issue. And so you don't really even have to think of looking both ways a ton of times for a bike that's going to come out of nowhere. So
no hands on the wheel.
Yeah,
like this, right? Like this.
Yeah, fun fact, I come from the city of bikes in Italy. It's actually called the city of bikes.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but when I came here, I also struggled a little bit because of the amount of bikes that we have on the bike lane, and the whole strict rules that in Italy it's much simpler. Bikes are on the bike lane.
Don't underestimate the bikes here.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And sometimes you just see people biking with no hands.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yes. Yeah. So I think, we've discussed a lot about the bikes, learning how to ride a bike, and all the rules that go along with it. But then also, obviously, the international opportunities that NHL Stenden offers, and all your friends, and the, maybe second vacation homes, visiting Romania, visiting the US, Vietnam, Italy, all the places we can go, and all the opportunities studying abroad has for us as well. So next time we will discuss learning by doing. For now, we've reached the end of this episode. Thank you so much, Laura, Sarah, and Robert, for joining us today. And thank you for listening. We'll see you at our next episode. If you want to get more information in the meantime, check out our website, nhlstenden.com. Till next time.
Yeah, till next time.
Next time.
Thank you.